Okay, kids, here it is, the 5th installment of The League of Extremely Ordinary Gentlemen.
Did that come through? You were so low.
Did it? Okay. You want me to do it again?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, kids, are you ready for the 5th edition of The League of Extremely Ordinary Gentlemen?
Did that come through? Because you were so cheesy.
Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me try it again. Hey there, kids. What's up, you happening daddies? Let's give another listen this week to The League of Extremely Ordinary Gentlemen.
Okay, that one was even worse than the first two.
Okay.
But let's just cut our losses and get on with it.
Okay. I should try to stop fluffing out my peacock feathers to impress this week's guest.
Yes.
Okay.
I just want to warn the audience from the last time. We have a girl sitting in again.
A girl?
So you know how Cyrus is going to get throughout this whole thing.
Well, no, that's not, let's be fair, admittedly. I'll only go but so far because, let's face it, so will she.
And one restraining order is enough.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, this is the 5th League of Extremely Ordinary Gentlemen, or LEOG for you acronym fans. And this week our guest is Stephanie. She is an actual spillion, I guess is the term we're going with now.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I like that. That was
I
Jason
like that.
Fisher.
I agree.
Stephanie is 25 years old, and her hobbies are walking on the beach and... Oh, no, wait.
Pina coladas.
That's the wrong website. She describes herself as a geeky girl who loves movies.
Boom,
Yes,
boom.
that'd
Ba,
be
ba,
me.
ba, ba, ba.
Wow, I was really uncreative with that one. Sorry.
Well, a geeky girl who loves movies. We don't have a lot of those on the site.
We normally do 5 questions. This kind of came together last minute this week, and I apologize, you guys, for it being late, but it was just one of those series of circumstances that made it there was just no way we could have done it on Wednesday.
True.
So,
But hey, we got it now.
yes, we got it now. It's probably Friday now when you're listening to this.
And I'm sure you were bored to tears by the last Akoko. So now we're here to deliver some real
I
entertainment.
just listened to it. It was pretty good.
Really? I'm surprised
They're
you're still
always
making
good.
it.
Yeah, wow, you made it through. Okay. Anyway, we're talking about Stephanie here.
Yes.
Who was
And-
gracious enough to come down and sit in with us.
Now, should I just go through the list of the movies you say you really love on here? She says her all-time favorite movies are Terminator, Amelie, Willow, The Fountain. I guess the French Romeo and Juliet,
Yes.
Zeffirellis. Is that how you
No,
pronounce
it's
it?
the
Zeffirelli.
1968. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the one
Oh,
I
right.
saw in high school.
Yeah.
That is the Romeo and
It was
Juliet.
the one
It's
that
the old-
that had nudity in it.
It's the non-Baz Luhrmann bullshit one.
I personally love the Baz Luhrmann bullshit one. So
Yeah, you love Baz Luhrmann and all his jacking off on film.
I do. It's wonderful.
Anyway,
All right, so she also likes Seven, Aliens, the Evil Dead films, Pan's Labyrinth, Leon, which is, I believe,
Yeah.
the original French version of the movie The Professional with Jean Reno and Gary Oldman. Star Wars, what is that, OT?
The original trilogy.
Oh, there you go.
Not
see.
the prequels.
yeah.
Nice to see someone specifying there. Fight Club, which I happen to know is one of Leon's favorite movies of all time.
You know what? Whenever somebody pins me down and says, "What's your favorite movie?" I hate to say a favorite movie. Who likes to say favorite?
Yeah.
But I always default to Fight Club, but I actually don't watch it that much. And it came on HBO. Like I caught it just the other day. Yeah, it's my favorite movie.
It's so awesome.
It is.
Yeah, I haven't really watched it recently, but I think I watched it enough that first year it came out to last a lifetime.
Watch it again. It's more awesome than you remembered it.
Every time I see it, I get something else out of it.
Yeah.
I do. But that's David Fincher for you. So,
Yes.
and I'm really looking forward to the new movie written by that writer, Chuck Palahniuk, for one thing, Choke,
Right.
which is coming out here in September, I want to say. But the reviews from Cannes was that it was great. Just really, really dark and messed up.
Really? Because I thought like the early reviews were that it was kind of eh.
Most of the things I've heard about it said, this is really good, but it's not a Hollywood commercial film at all. Even much less so than Fight Club was.
Do you know that that's translation for it's slowly paced?
Yeah, but you could say that to some people said that about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and that's in my top 10 films of all time.
That's a commercial film, though.
I don't know that it is. I can't argue that.
It's not ultra commercial. It's not like what you see for the mainstream audience, but it pulls in mainstream people. It pulled in more people, like the kind of demographic you wouldn't expect it to.
Yes, but what if the lead role had been played by Sam Rockwell instead of Jim Carrey?
I would have loved it even more.
Well, I'm just saying
I don't think it would have made a difference.
I don't think it would have been considered. I don't think it would be as easy to make the argument that it was mainstream then. I think the main reason so many people even saw it was because Jim Carrey was in it.
True, but they still loved it anyway,
Yeah.
despite Jim Carrey being in it.
Well, it's one of the best movies ever made,
Okay.
in my, carefully thought out. Well, anyway, she also likes 28 Days Later, Jurassic Park, and Speed. What kind of speed? Like methamphetamines? Oh, wait.
Or
Yeah,
Crank.
Adderall.
I'm more of a Crank man myself.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Adderall, just say?
Yeah.
Man, she knows the specifics.
There was one of them she mentioned early. Like most of them, I give full thumbs up. But there was one of the early ones you said where I'm like, say what?
Is it The Fountain?
Yes.
See, because that's a very hit or miss film for people.
I loved The Fountain.
Yeah.
I thought it was the most beautiful film I'd seen in such a long time.
Cyrus and I agree on everything except The Fountain.
Except
Well,
The Fountain.
no, we don't agree, generally speaking, on films that are really visually metaphorical. Generally speaking.
That's true.
Like, you don't like the real surreal films, and I totally adore them.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
David Lynch, all that stuff. I'm all about that stuff. And The Fountain is one of those movies. There's just a little bit of an actual plot, and it's mainly told through visual imagery. And
It was just so beautiful. It was just an emotional ride. And for me, I went to the theater and I had to pull my car over driving home because I had to break down and cry
Aw.
for just 30 minutes because it's just an emotional journey. And I guess for people, you're either on it or you're not, because my sister totally didn't take to it. She hated that film.
Well, no. I mean, I broke down and cried too because that was 2 hours that, man, I could have been watching Underdog or doing something cool.
all I
with-
could think of is if there had been some guy on a date with you that night, Stephanie, they would have scored so
No, except any other
can
guy except you
swim
would have been
through the
like,
tears.
well, that sucked.
right, that's true. There is that. It would have been like, gay.
Oh.
No, I know that's horrible. I knew even as I was saying it. I think I said it fast just to get it.
You rushed through it. I'm like sipping my drink. I'm like, wait, what was that?
He did a spit take.
Hey, what else is on her profile?
Well, it says she hates Catwoman, War, and Hostel, which I have not seen War, although I heard it was
Is it the one with
fully
Jet
worth
Li?
it. Yeah.
Yes, it's so
Yeah.
bad.
But Catwoman, yeah, I mean, come
Oh,
on.
yeah.
That's the only reason that way you should see that movie is if they ever do it with robots sitting in front of it.
I was in London, which makes this worse, when that movie came out, and my friend wanted me to go see it, and I said no, and he was like, well, I'll buy your ticket. So that was nine pounds that he paid.
Ooh.
18 American bucks for me to see a piece of shit movie.
That's probably all the money it made there, too.
You know what? I put Catwoman in the category of those movies that, they're just so bad that everybody knows it. They're just so easy to pick on. You don't lose anything by saying, I hate Catwoman.
Yeah, or 10,000 BC.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because, yeah, I hate Catwoman. Yeah, who doesn't?
Yeah.
But it's interesting when you pick a movie that some people like and you say, I hate that one.
You get dangerous about it.
Yeah, that's when you get some controversy going.
Yeah. Yeah, we've all got a few of those, although none are coming to the top of my head. I mean, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, The
I know
Fountain.
what ours is, Gladiator.
Oh,
The
Gladiator,
movie
yes.
that Leon and I can't stand, and
Yeah.
everybody else loves is Gladiator. Like, boo.
Yeah.
Thumbs way down.
I'm just sitting there watching, I didn't even believe this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To this day, I like. That's when I lost my faith completely in the Oscars. I just said, you know what? The only reason I watch these things anymore is to win money from my lame coworkers at the bar.
Too true.
Yeah. But anyway, and then Hostel, which, I think we're both on the torture porn thing for
Yeah.
that. It's just like, come on.
Not
Really?
Well, I think Carlisle's like the last holdout for that.
Yeah. Well, he he's friends with Eli Roth. Alonzo Sandoval has sent me a message saying, part question. First off, what is our favorite superhero? Which is, obviously, he hasn't listened to the other Leogs.
See, this is not fair because we get so much mail saying, would you guys please stop talking about Spider-Man? And now we're getting drawn into it.
Yeah, but we have to, really. Let's face it. I mean, if you were to divide us up into our component parts on a spiritual level, there'd be a big part of that pie graph that would be just Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is no other answer. How about you, Stephanie?
My favorite superhero, movie? Or just in
I think
general?
just in general, superhero.
Okay. My favorite's definitely probably
Really?
Iceman. Bobby Drake, yeah.
Now,
He made me laugh. He's the only one. I don't know. He's just the prankster, and it's always been really funny for me. I love reading him.
this is interesting because I've never in my life heard somebody say Iceman.
Yeah, nobody dislikes him.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great character, but I've never heard anybody pick him out specifically.
I guess if I had to pick hardcore, like, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Now-
that's fine.
No,
That's a fine
yeah,
answer.
I mean,
Now, which Iceman is it that you like the most? Uncanny X-Men Iceman, Ultimate X-Men Iceman, or
hey,
movie
no, I
Iceman?
don't even want to go into all that. I
Or
just like the
Spider-Man and his amazing
character.
friends Iceman?
If I had, I don't know. I like the character. I guess that's probably it. I like all his incarnations usually.
Well, he's kind of he's always the eternal teenager of the
Yes.
group in some ways.
That's true. He is always the youngest.
Yeah.
I've always kind of attached to those, like Johnny Storm and like Jubilee, all the ones who were kind of funny, you know, like the little kids.
The young ones, yeah.
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 But when I was younger, I mean, I also really liked. Sorry, I'm Asian, so I was also really big into Psylocke because she was like the kick-ass Asian ninja character.
I thought she was a British chick. I mean, she was like original white man British, and then
Yeah.
later she became.
She's the sister
A
of
ninja.
Captain Britain, and
Yeah.
then she went
The
through
sister of
the
Captain
Siege
Britain.
Perilous, and then came out Asian
I
and
did
was
not
messed
know
with
that.
by the Hand. Sorry, I'm a really big comic book geek. I read a lot
that's- you
during.
know, right.
That makes you perfect for this. And I've always wanted that to be explained to me.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was the case. I always thought that she was. But you know what? To be honest, I don't really read the X-Men anymore. I just kind of.
Yeah,
I got
I fell off.
confused. It's like you miss an issue
Too much is
and
going-
everything has changed.
X-Men is it's not so much you miss an issue, but X-Men to me has always been like All My Children.
Yeah.
Where you can watch it for a summer or a year, be totally into it, and then reach a point where the stories are just too dumb and you stop watching. You can stop watching for 3 years. You pick up a TV guide and read the synopsis, and you know everybody who's in there. You could totally pick up from where you left off, and its story might be good again for a while.
I screwed up. I stopped reading the X-Men right in the middle of that whole magic thing when it got ridiculous, and like it was Colossus's sister who got like demon powers or something. She could like teleport.
Sure.
And had this sword and stuff that she pulled out of this other dimension.
Yeah, she was magic
And-
with a K.
Yeah, and Magic with a K, which nowadays is probably there's a rapper out there with that name, but they turned the whole city into like of New York City into like this mystical city, and it just got too dumb for me. And then of course right after that was Age of Apocalypse that everybody still talks about as being awesome. It's like great, I picked a stupid time to stop collecting this comic.
I hated Age of Apocalypse.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't even finish it.
loved
Oh,
it.
okay.
But maybe it was just like at the peak of when I was reading. I thought it was so good, and then
I do read the Ultimate X-Men now. I've been reading it since the beginning. I have issues with where they're going with it ever since Brian K. Vaughan took over the
Yeah.
comic, but which I normally like the guy, but and since Kirkman came over, it's like he's trying to fix some of the things that Vaughan screwed up. But even so, it went way off the rails. Other than that, I have been reading, of course, because it's the ultimate creator, the best human being in the entire world, Joss Whedon.
Right.
His astonishing X-Men.
But his astonishing X-Men is such a throwback to the Claremont Byrne issues.
Oh yeah, that's one of the reasons I like it so much.
Yeah. I got asked if we would talk about, and there's not much to talk about, but the new X-Men cartoon that's coming up, Wolverine and the X-Men.
I didn't even know
I
anything
haven't
about it.
Oh, you haven't?
seen anything about this.
Oh, I
but
posted
I've
it.
heard of it.
Yeah, I posted a trailer for it, and to see it, I would liken it just from this trailer to Spectacular Spider-Man. It's like the Spectacular Spider-Man of X-Men, in as much as I can see the influence of all the X-Men cartoons that have come before it, and elements from the comic. And it almost like it picks up from that last X-Men cartoon, which was what the hell was that
X-Men
called?
Evolution.
X-Men Evolution.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. And I really like the art style of that. But just to see this trailer, you should check it out when you get a chance.
Okay.
It looks pretty good.
No, I'm sure I'll start watching it. I'm sure I will. In fact, I just got a hold of the entire original X-Men animated series because I never saw
Which
it
was
all.
decent.
I would watch it sporadically, but I just Saturday mornings. What the hell am I going to do?
It's funny because most people with the Spider-Man cartoon from that era and that X-Men cartoon, most of what the mainstream non-comic people know about those characters comes from those cartoons.
Oh yeah,
It's-
no, absolutely.
Yeah, I had a birthday party once when I was younger, and I had all my comic books. My friends came over, and these were a bunch of girls, probably like 13. And they actually knew who a lot of the characters were, and I was so surprised. I was like, how the hell do you know these people? And they were like, the X-Men cartoons, we saw that on Saturday mornings. And I was like, holy shit, that's awesome.
It's funny
They're
because
like,
the only reason why more people didn't like comic books for so long and comic book characters here is because the powers that be that were controlling the mass media didn't really think it would catch on that much. Whereas you go through most of the rest of the world, And they're like, oh, yeah, comics. I mean, especially the Asian countries.
Well, you know, I hate to sound unpatriotic, but we do live in America where reading is not the highest priority.
Well, you would think then we would encourage comic book reading.
Well, you would.
Well, I read.
It's reading. America's the only place where people are, like, proud of the fact that they don't read. Like, oh, man, I don't read. I ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
And, like, wow, you aren't embarrassed to say that?
They probably still beat up nerds in other countries in America, though.
But not for reading.
I should have grown up in England. But there was a second part of the question. What are your guys' favorite superhero movie of all time?
Oh.
That's a tough one. Because
That is
there
tough.
are like at least 3 right off the top of my head I could think of that how could I possibly choose between them?
Right.
You know, for me, and it's really, I want to count Spider-Man 1 and 2 as one movie because I have issues with both of them, but I love them both so much. And then Superman 2, which I actually do like better than the first one. Come on, General Zod, one of the coolest superhero villains of all time.
Sure, but the movie's got tons of other problems.
And then, honestly, I know I'm just probably because I'm just so taken with it right now, but Iron Man is really just so well done.
It's not because you're taken with it. It's just it hits every mark.
Yeah.
It's
really
almost
good.
perfect.
Yeah.
Except for where they had to throw in the classic battle between it at the end. I feel like that's where it got kind of, you know.
I
But
agree
up
with you.
until that point, it was, you know, phenomenal. I thought it was.
The battle at the end would have been fine if it had just knocked you out of the park, but it didn't quite. It's like, okay, this isn't bad, but this feels like a battle. It should have been in the middle of the movie, not like the climactic final battle.
I'd already hit my peak by that point, so the battle was just gravy.
No,
and,
I
and
agree.
it had to end that way.
Yeah.
Because when you don't, like, everybody's pissed that Superman Returns didn't have such a battle in it.
Yeah.
So you know you're obligated to throw that in your movie now just to get people to shut the fuck up.
I was just gonna say, I think Superman Returns had a problem with rehashing the first movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I really
was-
liked Superman Returns, but you're right.
It just was the same stuff.
It's like, are you doing a reboot or is it not a reboot? What is it? You're stealing all the same themes, a lot of the same ideas. I just found that very confusing.
Superman Returns really captured my heart. I mean, like, that's a movie that when I watch it, there's certain parts on it that my eyes get wet every time I see it.
Yeah, me too. There are parts that give me the chills because they get. All right, Bryan Singer gets the iconicness of Superman without making him completely hollow and unapproachable. Either.
Right.
But there's one major problem that people had with that film that there's just no getting over. There's no big fight.
Sure.
There's nothing for him to punch in the movie. He's Superman. He should at least once. We should see how truly strong he is. It's not just him catching a
Really,
plane.
a bullet hitting his eyeball and bouncing off doesn't show you how strong
But
he
that was
is.
just a dude. We need to see him get into a physical fight with someone. He needs to fight Darkseid or somebody. I don't know.
But Darkseid wasn't in the movie.
Well, I know.
And it's Darkseid.
Whatever. It's spelled Darkseid. His mom named him Darkseid. I'm going to call him Darkseid. You can add as many accent graves he wants.
So anyway, that's the best answer I can give you.
I'm actually full of crap. I just realized I'm totally full of crap. It is none of the movies that I said. My favorite movie is not them. Because I was thinking, because we were just talking about superheroes, period.
Oh.
My favorite movie
well, then
is
it's The Incredibles.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
by far
yeah.
my favorite superhero
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, because I was thinking too specifically.
Right. Now, if you say comic book movies, it's got to be that whole fight between those movies. But it's superhero movies, The Incredibles.
Yeah, absolutely my favorite comic book movie. And my second favorite is Unbreakable.
Yeah.
You know, which is
I would
strange
agree.
considering how much I hate M. Night's movies after Unbreakable. I hate all of them after Unbreakable. But Unbreakable I love so much more than even The Sixth Sense.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot more rewatchable.
Yeah.
Because it's not dependent on the big shock ending.
No,
As
it's
a matter of fact, the ending was probably like the worst part of it.
Yeah.
Because you went, what?
It just felt like it was the first part of a trilogy, and it was supposed to be.
Right.
And unfortunately, none of you fuckers out there actually liked it enough, so there won't be one now. Thanks a whole lot, and it's your fault. We have the village and all this other shit.
Well, just
That's true. I had no idea.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
Maybe 3.
Well, the thing is, I mean, he didn't even want to make it a mystery. He wanted to make it a straight superhero movie. And they were like, no. What you're good at is mystery. So we want you to do that same thing you did with The Sixth Sense. So it totally got hijacked from him. And he's made so many movies like that just because the studios have been kind of like on it. Now, certainly he's an independent guy who cries if you tell him you don't like what he's done. But that was a big influence to keep writing these same kind of Twilight Zones.
So what was your favorite superhero movie?
Probably the same ones, except I would have to say Superman, the first one, the original, because
It's a hell of an answer.
I know I really love that one. It just and I rewatched it recently, and I love it. It's just so good. And,
It is.
And And then also, of course, Iron Man is really up there on my list right now.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that The Dark Knight might top that, but Batman Begins very good as well. But it's tough. I mean, there's so many, and I just love them all.
Yeah, it's true.
I really loved X-Men 2, that opening sequence with Nightcrawler. Oh my god.
So good.
I was such a huge X-Men fan, and it just blew my mind. Like, seriously.
Oh, I bet.
I was a big enough fan that I can't even bring myself to completely hate X3 because I love the first two so much. I mean, yeah, it's a big disappointment, but you know what? It's not as bad as everybody said it was. If you had never heard of the X-Men and you saw that movie, you go, I don't really see what the problem is.
I actually enjoyed it, and I thought the performance. I love Famke Janssen, Jean Grey, and I thought she did great. Like, it just was totally nostalgic for me. Like, her performance as, turning evil was great, even though they didn't do any fire.
She was the best part about it. When she was
Yeah.
being Dark Phoenix, she was scary looking. She was like, okay, that's kind of freaky. My biggest problem with that movie, Charles Xavier was a dick.
It's so funny you say that because in the comics he was always a dick.
Yeah,
he'd be real nice 1 minute and then he'd pull some mind fuck on them. He'd like, oh, the professor's dead for 100 issues, and then like, oh, I'm sorry, X-Men, I had to fake my death because of blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And they're all going, what?
You couldn't have sent an email?
And he would barely give him an explanation and just move on. He was always pulling dick moves.
No, but he's like a dick in the sense of like he's going, yeah, fuck you, whatever. I'm the professor. I mean, in X3, when he's going, Logan, shut the hell up. I'll tell you what. When I want your opinion, I'll ask you for it. Other than that, shut the fuck up. And
Dude,
that's not the professor.
You can't tell me that if you were the leader of that school, you wouldn't say that to Logan like at least once a week.
You can't tell me that if you had Logan anywhere near you, you'd be anything but ultra polite at all times.
You know what? I know that I would, but
Unless you're Magneto.
After 3 weeks, I think like that part of me would just come out. I'd just be like, get over yourself. Go back to Paul Mitchell and get some more mousse for your hair already. Yeah, that cigar chomping. You're so tough. Everybody's so sick of hearing about what you used to do and how you can't remember this. And I'm the best at what I do. And the claws slip sometimes. Shut up.
Yeah, right? It's like we have all heard of a Napoleon complex here, shortly. Plus, why don't you stop driving Kitty Pryde up the wall and just do her already? You know she wants to.
Right. And like,
You mean Rogue? I guess in the
in the movies.
In the movies,
In the
in the comics,
She's the
he was
sidekick,
always
yeah.
taking Kitty Pryde with him to places. It's like, why? She's completely useless. Why would you even take her with you? Well, obviously, he just likes driving the pubescent girls to the point of tears.
Well, I would say to him, I'm like, look, that's Scott's girlfriend, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of pathetic what you're doing. Everybody's laughing behind your back. Get your own woman.
Yeah. And, now the new series of Wolverine in the X-Men. What the hell was this? I didn't sign on for this bullshit. Why does Wolverine get top billing? He hasn't even been here since the beginning.
Well, the funny thing is, it's the movies that drive the cartoons.
Yeah.
Like, the reason we got Batman the Animated Series was because they made Batman movies and they were getting ready to make another one. So, hey, let's promo it. We got Spectacular Spider-Man because of Spider-Man 3. And now we're getting this X-Men, cartoon, which is Wolverine the X-Men because we got a Wolverine movie coming out. Just like when they recently did Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. But they changed it to Superman and the Legion of Superheroes because there was a Superman movie out, and they were like, we need a direct promo tie-in with this.
Yeah. Last question from this guy, from Alonzo Sandoval.
Didn't we just answer one question?
No,
for
it was
me?
a three-part question. This is
Jeez.
the third part. I know.
Alonzo, don't be such a hog, man.
What is your least favorite superhero movie?
I think I already said mine.
Catwoman.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you sure did. Now, Steph, don't you think that it's possible that if you were to see it again in a room full of your best friends and everybody was drunk, that you all could
She might
play?
have sex with Cyrus. Oh, wait. What were we talking about?
Not yet, dude. I'm trying to set you up later.
Oh, sorry. Forget that. This is not the Come Online that we're hearing.
Do you think that maybe you could enjoy it at that point?
I don't know. I guess maybe if we had,
Okay,
I have no
ecstasy
idea.
then.
But that's hard. Like I agree with Leon. That's one of those ones that's so obvious to hate. I can't even really hate it.
Well, then I'll go with Superman Returns. Sorry.
Damn.
Sorry,
Damn.
Leon.
You have seen Superman 4: The Quest for Peace, right?
Right.
Okay.
You can't tell me.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Superman Returns is
and-
But you
worse
were
than
saying that it's got to be controversial,
And-
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
well, that's
I'm
true.
just on your-
Okay. Based on that, you're right. Wow. Yeah, my answer has always been Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think you get any worse than that. I mean, even like I thought it was Superman before, up until Batman and Robin. However, okay, keeping with my theme of like, because anybody can hate Batman and Robin, there's nothing likable about it. I'm gonna go with Ang Lee's Hulk.
You see, I didn't hate Ang Lee's Hulk.
Oh, I hated it.
I had issues with it all over the place, but wow, really, it would probably have to be Ghost Rider.
Really?
I saw it, and there was one thing I did like about it. I liked Wes Bentley as the villain. I really liked him as the villain.
You know what? Of all the things about that movie to hate, that's the thing I hate the most about it.
I liked him as the villain. I don't like what they did with the special effects around him or anything like that, but I liked the way he was playing.
The little
character.
emo villain.
No, I liked him. What can I tell you? But everything else I hated. I hated Nicolas Cage so much in this. I almost don't even want to watch Raising Arizona ever again.
Oh.
You know, it's like it was retconned his entire acting history from me. I hated him so much in it.
See, I think Ghost Rider's a bad movie. At the same time, there's some parts of it that is so bad in a fun way. And I guarantee you, not you, Cyrus, because you're more intelligent than this, but I swear to you, if that movie had ended and it said the director was Robert Rodriguez, you'd have tons of hipsters saying like, oh, it's so funny. You see how much fun he had with it? And it was so tongue-in-cheek. And he loves making bad movies like this because he has so much fun with it. It's like, shut up. It's Drek, whether he's trying to do it or not.
I think he just doesn't have the balls to try and do an actual good movie. If he can go, hey, look, it's just a bad movie. It's just fun. It's a tribute to the bad movies from before. Then he can get away with whatever the fuck he wants.
Exactly. It's a total cop-out. The
Yeah.
biggest in the world. I offer this challenge to Robert Rodriguez, filmmaker who lives here in town, to make a movie that's a good movie. You start out with the idea that I'm going to make a good movie. It's not based on anything from the past. It's just a new movie, and you're going to do a good job.
Spider-Man.
Matthew McConaughey's brother, whose name is Rooster, who looks exactly like him, except with a gut. He just had a son. Guess what he named his son?
I don't know.
Turkey.
Miller Lite. He named his son Miller Lite with a Y instead of a I in the light part of it. So he
Okay.
didn't even misspell light correctly.
Miller Light McConaughey.
Miller Lite, well, yeah, I assume so, yeah. Rooster McConaughey.
Okay, so he can go by Miller.
yeah.
I mean, the kid himself has the choice to go by Miller McConaughey,
Yeah.
and he can be Miller L. McConaughey.
Sure.
And as long as nobody asks him what the L stands for, he's good to go.
Well, he doesn't have the same problems a lot of other celebrities,
Right.
kids do, which I have put together a very small list of ones that made me laugh.
Well, technically, is Matthew McConaughey's brother a celebrity?
Well, he's a celebritard.
Okay.
Okay. But what I've got here is Bob Geldof. I don't know if you've ever... Bob Geldof was...
Sir Bob Geldof.
Yes, Sir Bob Geldof.
The man behind Live Aid.
Yes, the man behind Live Aid. He was the main actor in Pink Floyd The Wall. What was the band? What was the band he was in?
Boomtown Rats.
Boomtown Rats. Okay. His kids are named Peaches Honey Blossom, Little Pixie, and Fifi Trixie Belle. It's like...
He was fine on those first two.
Yeah, he did a lot of drugs, but the winner, which I should say for last, but we were talking about Nicolas Cage anyway, of course, is Nicolas Cage, because he named his son Kal-El, which, wow.
You know what? I have a friend who did the same thing before Nicolas Cage did it.
What? You have a friend who named their kid Kal-El? Did
Named
you
him-
smack them?
Named him Kal-El. He was very proud of it.
Oh my gosh.
You know, don't put your kid on your comic shelf. What is that?
Well, he can go by Cal. You know,
Cal Penn, yeah.
yeah, like Cal Penn.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of people who don't know that Superman's real name is Kal-El. All they
Yeah.
know him as is Clark Kent.
I don't know any of those people.
Step outside your insular geek world, and you'll discover an entire universe of people who don't give a shit about Superman at all.
No! That's impossible! No, I can't say anything. I had full plans if I ever have kids to name them after characters in Lord of the Rings, so, you know.
See?
Yeah.
And you made fun of Kal-El.
Yeah, but
Aragorn, you can't even shorten anything cool.
could be Gorn.
Gorn.
Wasn't that one of the furry monsters on Star Trek?
Yeah, no, he was the lizard thing that fought Kirk in the desert.
See, how cool is that?
You could call him Strider.
Strider. There you go, Strider. Okay.
Yeah.
Erica Badu, that's her name?
Yeah, that's
and Andre Benjamin's kid is named Seven Asirius, which I think is pretty cool.
No, Seven's a good name. I always
Seven.
wanted to name a kid Seven.
Yeah. No, I like that. Wasn't that from Seinfeld?
Seinfeld, yeah.
Penn Jillette's kid. Have you heard this one?
Oh, I have, but I can't remember it. Penn Jillette from Penn and Teller.
Moxie crime fighter.
Yes.
Okay,
I heard him interviewed on Howard Stern
That's
recently.
actually kind of awesome.
Well, no, it's not. It's dumb.
Okay, you're right. Robert Rodriguez, of course, has Rocket, Racer, Rogue, and Rebel, and then a girl named Rhiannon, which isn't interesting.
Wow, how many kids does he have?
That would be
Quite a bit.
5. 5 kids. Someone
He's
actually
going with the.
and his wife, his poor wife, pumped out 5 kids and put up with his obnoxious names. Well, then go, you know what? I think I'm going to have sex with this slut over here.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah, it is pretty messed up. Shannon Sossamon, I liked her in.
She's my girl.
Rules of Attraction.
Yeah, Rules of Attraction.
Rules of Attraction.
Yeah,
She's my
and,
girl crush.
And is she?
Yeah.
With that haircut, it's just like.
I you know what? The movie I liked her in was A Knight's Tale.
Knight's Tale was good. I took forever to see that movie because it just pissed me off. That's the one that had modern pop music
Yes,
in it.
yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that just
Sure. It's a concept that turns you off.
Yeah.
When you sit and watch the movie, it's actually a charming movie.
It is a charming movie, yes. But her kid is named Audio Science.
Once again.
Sylvester Stallone has several kids, but only one with a weird name, Sage Moonblood.
See, here's the thing with Stallone. Stallone's a good dude. Like every interview I've heard with him,
Yeah.
like him, very likable guy. He is too easily swayed by pussy.
Yes.
It has fucked him up in his life over and over and over again.
Yes.
So I could totally see. I'm sure Sage Moonblood was not his idea.
Sam asked me about the Austin Powers films, and specifically Austin Powers 4. In case you didn't know, Mike Myers is now actually talking about doing a 4th film, where he's saying they've got this full idea for one, except it's going to be about Dr. Evil more, like he's the main character.
Wow, that really saddens me, because like I said, I thought when I saw the first one, I was like, wow, this is not nearly as funny as everybody told me it was. Second one, I thought was a superior remake of the first one. And the third one was a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
Just pure bullshit.
Yeah, it was worse than bullshit. If there was we've said there should be a rating below some old bullshit, and that falls into that category. That's in my least favorite movies of all time.
Dude, I've never seen you so mad at a movie before.
I left 15 minutes before it was over, literally panicked, running out, pushing people out of the way, just freaking out. I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. Steph, how did you feel about Austin Powers, the series?
Oh, well, I never saw the third one. I just skipped that whole thing. But I did like the second one because it had Seth Green, and I liked Buffy, and that was about it. But
I agree with you about Seth Green. He's awesome.
Yeah.
You Buffy loyalist.
Well, come on now. Seth
Good.
Green, Robot Chicken. He's awesome.
No.
Either way.
I like Seth Green from back when he was playing Woody Allen back in radio days.
Seth Green is great. I can't think of a single bad thing to say with him. I officially delete the Austin Powers films from his IMDb profile in my head.
yeah.
Because I like him that much.
Okay, so you got something to give away for this Austin Powers movie that we just trashed?
I do. As we were saying earlier, they send me stuff occasionally in the mail, and I want all that other stuff. Although if one of y'all really wants it, I guess I'll come up with a contest for the Wieners DVD. But you can't have my Iron Man statue they sent me, but you can have, and I'll be giving away because I know some of you really care, the Love Guru Magic 8-Ball that they sent me. So it's all packaged. It's in, the nice little package. Maybe it'll be worth something someday, in case the movie's a gigantic hit.
But seriously, though.
Seriously.
And I would also mention that Cyrus is really good with the internet, so he'll go ahead and help you set up an eBay page so you can sell this thing as you get it.
But whoever sends us the best audio question, I will send this to you, and I will actually attach a page with all of our signatures on it. So we'll have a little signed spill thingy. I don't know what. Maybe we'll just sign the box itself. But one way or the other.
Signing that.
You're signing it.
Fine.
So anyway, yes, please, find a way to send us the audio file, a way we can download it, and I'll look at it, and if I like it, I'll contact you back, and send you that. Aren't you excited? Aren't you lucky?
They got the mustard. They got the mustard.
Brett Ratner is making God of War, which is completely retarded.
What is this God of War you speak of?
God of War is a video game series.
I knew that.
But it's a series about a Greek god type setup that has this loosely a plot, so you're like, okay, so you just want to make a movie about a big guy killing lots of people is pretty much what you want to do. Yeah, that worked great for Doom. So it's just, you go, what's the point? It's almost angering to hear that. And above and beyond the fact that Brett Ratner is a complete and utter schmuck.
Be that as it may, he did make the first Rush Hour.
Which is okay.
No, the first Rush Hour is great.
See, but you weren't a Jackie fanatic. You had never sat there and watched
You mean a Jackie Chan?
Sorry, this is beer 3. Beer 4, sorry.
Jackie fan. No, but dude, I did love Jackie Chan before that.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I was way into Jackie Chan.
Chinese movies, Jackie Chan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't think you did.
No,
I'm sorry.
I did.
I didn't mean to disparage your film experience.
See? But you got to admit, all those Jackie Chan movies, they're great for the fight scenes. Comedy's kind of childish and...
Well, it depends on the movie. Drunken Master 1 and 2 are funny as hell and great fight scenes.
Be that as it may.
I know I'm picking the best ones.
Yeah. I still, like, the first Rush Hour to me is very funny, came out of nowhere, was a surprise hit.
It's okay.
And the others is like, well, they're okay too. They're okay.
The second one's okay. The third one has I think it had one scene that made me chuckle, and that was about it.
I have an affinity for them, but the first one is the one I think is actually good. And Brett Ratner also, Red Dragon, good movie.
Yeah, unnecessary. Manhunter was better.
I disagree with that.
I
never liked Manhunter that much. I love that book, but I never liked Manhunter that well.
Oh, well, there's no argument that the book is better in that particular case. The only one of that whole series that had been made. Actually, this is a stupid discussion because the books are all lame except for Red Dragon and Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, wait, Hannibal was awful too. So it's really hard argument. You don't say which is better. You say which is more likely to destroy your soul. But on the other side of the coin, Gore Verbinski is making BioShock, which could be really good. I mean, here's a guy who obviously has made the big water film and did a hell of a job, at least one of the 3 films anyway.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Surprise hit with that first Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, you remember how I was about it.
Should not have worked because it's based on a ride at Disney.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's even worse than basing on a video game.
I know. That's what I'm saying. If you can make a giant success, both critically and with audiences like Pirates of the Caribbean, out of a fucking ride at Disney that half the exhibit didn't even work. I remember going to Disney. Last time I went to Disney, going Pirates of the Caribbean, half the ride had little out of order signs on it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were just they just didn't even give a shit. It's
yeah.
like, oh, come on, seriously, does anybody care? Is anybody coming in here who's not smoking pot or making out? Really?
Right. Right. It's a ride at Disney World. It's not even one of the good ones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And turned it into this massive thing. If anybody could make a good video game movie out of a video game that does have as an interesting and in-depth a plot as BioShock, it would be Gore Verbinski. Which is to say, it's possible. You can do it. Now, I know you have your own feelings about making a video game movie at all.
Oh, yes, I do. And I would go into that. But I would like to hear from Stephanie, her feelings on it before I say anything.
Yeah, I would too, actually.
No, well, I agree. I think Gore Verbinski could pull this off, and BioShock may be just as good as Pirates, the first one, but I don't think BioShock 2 and 3 will be equally as fantastic.
You think they'll be over long and bloated and completely lose the point, and the third one will make you go like, I don't know what the fuck has happened, this whole thing.
Yeah. But people will still see it as long as Johnny Depp is, I don't know, Ayn Rand.
Just my personal feeling is that you just can't make a good film based on a video game. Matter of fact, it's a complete abortion to even try. It makes me angry the amount of times they do this over and over.
In this point where you go, now I don't want to go off on a rant.
Yeah, I don't want to go off on a rant here, but to me, this is the opposite. Basing a movie off of a video game is a complete bass-ackwards opposite of making art. It's video games themselves try to ape films in like the worst, most direct-to-video way, except cut it by half and make it even shittier. And then if you look at it now, films are being ruined by video games just in how many films turn into video games. I mean, so many of them, like a movie like Van Helsing. You guys can't tell me that when Van Helsing came out and you saw the commercials for the video games, that you could tell the difference between the video game and the movie. And there's so many movies that do this. They might start out with something and they get to the action sequence and the rest is video game. Blade 2, video game. Hellboy, video game.
I thought Blade 2 was
Blade
better
2
than Blade
was
1,
pretty-
personally.
Yeah.
It's all monsters come up and like, okay, shoot them. I kept, the whole time I'm watching the movie, I keep wanting to flick my wrist to fire off screen to reload my gun.
I don't agree. I thought it was brilliant.
Brilliant?
Yeah,
Are you
it
serious?
was Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
my
knocked
God.
it out of the park.
Can't
He
help
really
that.
it was one of the perfect superhero sequels to me.
I thought you took a great franchise and really screwed the pooch on it. But that's me.
The only thing I like better,
I just don't understand why you take like a fantastic, charismatic martial artist like Wesley Snipes and just have him shoot guns the whole time.
He doesn't just shoot the guns the whole time.
No, when he's doing karate, it's all on wires. It's all very fake.
Yes,
it's
but
all
you don't
CG.
like- I love wire food. There's a long and
but
storied
there's,
history
there's
behind
CG
wire
food in it too, and it's not necessary.
Oh, come on now.
Whatever, dude.
I bet you if you watch it again, you go like, you know what? I was too hard on this. This is
That
actually
was my
not
favorite
bad.
out of the series.
Yeah, it's
out
my
of the
favorite
Blade
of the three
series,
too.
yeah.
The third one, of course, isn't even worthy of consideration. As like, it's not even up for nomination.
I'd watch the
Except
third
for-
one before the second one.
See, you're insane.
No, I'm not into
Just for
because
you just love
Jessica
Ryan Reynolds.
Biel.
I do love Ryan Reynolds. I got it.
It's
Oh,
not
yes,
Jessica,
Ryan Reynolds.
Jessica, yeah, well, he's totally in the closet. But that's a whole other story. Jessica
I'm not
Biel
in the
is
closet.
hot and all that. Yeah, but she always one of those actors. I'm like, yeah, she's hot, whatever. Ryan Reynolds, I genuinely like that guy, and it's
Yeah.
not just because he's engaged to Scarlett Johansson. It's nothing to do with that at all.
Would you get in on that three-way though?
Oh yeah, he'd be like, yeah, but you're gonna have to. I'd be like,
Okay.
He was the only
to
reason.
be honest, I don't know what I like. So. No, I really like Ryan Reynolds. It's funny because he has been in very few movies I actually like, but I like
know.
the guy.
Yeah.
He makes me laugh in movies where I don't even like the movie, you know.
Like I said, he reminds me of Chevy Chase when he was at his height.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like Chevy Chase from Caddyshack.
Yeah, no,
he's
I can
Val Kilmer
hardly
from Real
wait
Genius.
for him to be Deadpool.
Yeah, I
Hard to
can't.
wait.
Oh my gosh.
Great casting, and you know what? For a guy who's like at least partially known for being a good-looking guy, to take a role where the entire movie his face will be hideously, beyond recognition scarred, I'm like, nice, very cool. He has enough confidence in his personality to take that role.
You know why? Because in every movie now, he's become like another Matthew McConaughey
Yeah.
who always has his shirt off.
Yeah.
It's like love the dude. He's so funny, but he seems to be allergic to shirts.
Yeah.
And we got to get a dermatologist on these two guys because enough already.
He's just super fit, and they just want to show it off. They're like, look at these pecs.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we get it. Enough already.
Stephanie obviously has a different take on the situation.
No, I do love
Really?
Ryan Reynolds. I'm just saying why Ryan Reynolds is usually shirtless in the films is because he actually is pretty fit for a comedian, someone who's in these, comedies,
Yeah, but so Scarlett Johansson, she doesn't take her shirt off. What the hell?
Yeah, dude. I mean,
But she
I
wears,
watch.
skin tight,
But
Not
it's
good
not,
enough.
But yeah, not good enough. I mean, nobody's going to appreciate nudity more than dudes.
Yeah.
So, hey, how about throwing us a bone?
There's a whole extra star there just for Scarlett. You know what? If Austin Powers 4, she's the girl in, I will watch it and give it a standing ovation at the end if she takes her shirt off.
We own the night. Eva Mendes. Topless.
Whole star.
For about 30 seconds, though, in the very beginning.
Yeah, whole star added just for that.
Yes.
Oh, so back to the video game thing. where we
Oh, yeah,
started
the
and deviated
abortion
from-
of the video game movie. They're all shit, is what they are. I mean, everybody wants to blame Uwe Boll, he's like Jar Jar Binks, where he's the scapegoat. But it ain't like if you took Jar Jar Binks out of the Phantom Menace, suddenly it's an Oscar-winning movie. It's still a piece of crap.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Don't make it his fault.
I can't help but think when I'm listening to you talk like this that you sound like my dad talking about making movies out of superheroes.
You goddamn right. Back in my day, we didn't have video games.
You know what I'm saying though? It's like really you think it's implausible that they're going to make a good video game movie at some point? I mean, video games are getting, and you admittedly don't play many video games, but they're getting more mature. Their storylines are getting more complex and in depth. At least on some of them. I mean, there's what's that one that's really big right now? Mass Effect or something like that. Apparently, it's got this great in depth branching storyline that everyone's saying, you know what, it's a fun game, but it's a great story. it's like, okay, video games are changing. I think, especially, games like BioShock. I think it's more than likely that we will, within the next 2 to 3 years, see a really damn good video game film.
Okay, well, hey, even, by quantum physics, anything's possible. But I dare say a quantum physicist will come in here and say, like, a good video game movie will never happen.
I don't know. Quantum physicist might be the one who's like, I can hardly wait to see that one.
I do have to say that I did enjoy the first Resident Evil movie. After
That's a
watching
good
it again.
point.
It's
Okay.
it was pretty good.
No, you're right. I like
Not
that one, too.
Not so much I don't know. The third one was just way off. The second one was campy and fun.
See, the second, I never saw the third one, but the second one, I got to see for free, and I walked out of it. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't.
Are you ready?
But I did like
What
the
is
first
it?
one. Okay.
Are you ready for this?
I don't know. Just the way you say that makes me think.
I know.
I'm going to admit something to you guys.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to tell you something I've never told anyone before.
You're a hermaphrodite.
No, I'm not a hermaphrodite.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to unzip right now. No, okay, I'm not going to do that. I like all 3 Resident Evil movies a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I like all 3 of them.
Wow.
I know. I've watched them more than once, to be sure.
Wait, that's enough right there. The fact that you watched them more than once.
I went back because I had to know. Was I in a weird state of mind? Everyone's like, what are you, crazy? Well, no, because I haven't admitted it to anyone before now. But, they're all full of hate. And I go, you know what? They are what they are. They're stupid fun all the way through. They're well paced. They're totally silly. They've got good gore. I enjoyed all 3. And it's not just because I really like Mila, however you say her last name.
Yeah.
Jovovich. It always seems like you should add an extra syllable or 2 there.
You were smart to admit this after I've had 3 whiskey and cokes.
And have something between us in the room.
Yeah.
But, I was thinking there can be a good video game movie. And to me, I've often wondered how come this hasn't happened, that no one's attempted to take on the most storyline-driven game of them all, which is Myst, one of the original games.
Myst, don't you mean Grand Theft Auto?
No, that's not that storyline-driven. That's like one of those branching 10 billion different things going on. It doesn't really have a single thrust of a plot
dude,
like Myst
was
does.
Boring.
Well, maybe to you.
Yeah,
But it's
like,
a different
look at
type
these
of
pretty
game.
landscapes.
But you know what?
Myst should be called Bryce the movie.
Yeah, but Myst, when you wouldn't have to sit there and figure out what to do, is very interesting. That's the point. It's like if you were sitting there and you just said, here's the plot all the way through, watching it go, you'd go, wow, this is really fascinating. It's got so much depth. It's so beautiful. The storyline is so interesting. The problem is it's extremely difficult, and you've got to click on every square centimeter of the game till something goes woohoo and responds and the plot continues. But I'm saying that would make a good movie, and Michel Gondry could do that.
Or you could watch Lost.
Or you could watch
Lost.
Where shit actually happens on your island.
No, we both. You don't. Stephanie, do you watch Lost?
No, I actually missed that boat, and I've been meaning to catch up, but I just keep, waiting for a season hiatus, and then when the summer comes around, I forget
It's summer
to watch
now.
I swear,
I
I
know.
will give a back massage and a bottle of expensive wine to the first guest we can get on here that actually keeps up with Lost. I swear to God. But that being said, the new episode doesn't even come out till January, so
Yeah, so anybody can get caught up. You got plenty of time, a whole summer.
plenty of time to get locked in.
Oh, wow! You got a whole summer and fall.
Yeah.
There's no excuse.
Yeah, no excuse. You should be caught up because the 4th season of Lost, I would make a strong argument for the most mature, intelligent, and exciting season of any television show I've ever seen.
I would say to people, because for a lot of people, the second season killed them. That was a place where they dropped off.
And you have to understand.
And you know what? That's valid. It really lagged in the second season.
But it wasn't really their fault either.
Right. Not totally.
Well, not totally, but I mean, they should have accounted for the possibility that the studio was going to go, hey, by the way, we can't tell you how long this is going to be, so you better stretch it out as much as you can. And they went, but we had a whole plot and storyline. It was all set. Well, now you don't. So you better make up a bunch of shit real fast.
Yeah.
Which is why the second season and the first half of the third wasn't that great.
But I will say, not only does the second half of the third season reward you, the 4th season makes sitting through the second season completely worth it.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. attack ships on fire off the shore of Orion.
But everybody wants to know, so what comics should I read? What graphic novels should I be reading? Mm-hmm. Well, right before coming over here, I stopped at a comic book store. So I can start pulling out some of the comics that I read every month. And I'm just going to randomly just start pulling stuff from the bag. We got the new Trinity from DC Comics.
What is that?
Well, it's all about the connection between Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Matt Wagner did a 3-issue series. They made a collection of it. I don't know. The #1 issue came out this week.
So what's the idea? It's like prequel stuff. Like this is how they all got to be friends.
Dude, I don't know. I just bought this book. It's #1 issue.
All we know is we're doing this so that hopefully they'll start sending us comics for free.
Yes. Yes. Well, they won't if I give a review like, I don't know what this is. But it's the first issue. They've been touting it a lot. And I know at Austin Books they have a whole deal where if you go and buy this #1 issue of Trinity there, they will give you another one for free, hoping that you'll pass it on to a friend.
Really?
To get them turned on to it. Yeah.
Why don't you get me one?
I didn't go to Austin Books.
Oh, okay. Well, you suck then.
Captain America. I've been loving this comic ever since Ed Brubaker's been on it.
Wait, isn't he dead?
Yes.
Okay, but the comic still goes on.
Well, you know how nobody in comics ever dies forever?
Except Gwen Stacy.
Except Bucky.
Well, no.
No.
But they brought Bucky back a couple years ago.
I was going to say, Gwen Stacy stayed dead.
True.
Captain Stacy stayed dead.
So far.
And the other cop, the female cop.
Oh, Jean DeWolf.
Jean DeWolf stayed dead.
Yes. All right.
But no actual super people.
Superheroes.
Yeah.
Bucky was the only superhero who ever stayed dead, but they brought him back to life. And Ed Brubaker found such a cool way to do it, I couldn't argue with it.
Okay.
Bring him back as the Winter Soldier, this mythical...
Oh, he's the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, he's the Winter Soldier.
Someone was asking me the other day. I was like, I don't know who the Winter... You think I read Captain America? Piss off.
He's been there's been a mythology about this one perfect assassin who comes out and nobody can ever find him. And it turns out, the Red Skull's people.
It's a 90-year-old Bucky.
Well, they keep him in suspended animation until they need him.
Okay.
And just give him his, say the code word, and then he's out. He kills whoever they want.
So he works
and
for
they
the
put him
Red
back.
Skull.
Well, he's broken all the brainwashing now, and he's assumed the mantle of Captain America.
Oh, so he's the new
He's
Captain.
got the shield.
But how
He's-
old is he actually?
I guess.
Not like added up, but
like 30.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
they kept him in suspended animation a lot.
A lot. Yeah.
Like in the Ultimates with Captain America, he has this whole sort of curmudgeon, like these kids today, this
No.
Oh, that's
crazy
great.
kids with their video games and video game movies.
No, nothing like that.
I'm really hoping they go that way with the movie. Like, yeah, just having him just be this totally out of time guy. who
No,
just
that would be the
doesn't-
best way to
it's
play it.
just
Oh,
the
yeah.
best. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because he's Matthew McConaughey.
No, he's not.
No,
Dave has
is he?
said he is not.
Oh my.
And you know what? When I read that, I laughed. I'm like, oh, please let that happen. Because that would just be so awesome.
Captain America must wear a shirt. Cannot have Captain America with just pants and a shield and not work.
Oh, man. That would kill
Do
me.
you know what I love about World War II villains? I just keep getting older and they just stay the same. That doesn't make any sense.
Iron Man.
No, I'm
Director of
hearing-
S.H.I.E.L.D..
I'm hearing that Iron Man director of S.H.I.E.L.D. is awesome.
It is. Prior to the movie, Iron Man was one of those characters who, the most interesting thing about him was that he had been an alcoholic. And he wasn't anymore, so he wasn't really all that interesting anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, people steal his armor, he's trying to chase it down. He's selling weapons one year, and the next he wants to build villages and schools in Africa. Whatever. But now that he's the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., after the whole Civil War thing,
Right.
these comics have been fantastic.
Well, it's a whole different level. I mean, S.H.I.E.L.D. was. I was just reading some stuff recently. It took place shortly before the whole Civil War thing, and there was a lot of evidence coming out that something really bad was happening at S.H.I.E.L.D., and no one really knew what it was. There was some level of huge corruption that tied into the Hand on some level, I believe, or Hydra. It tied into Hydra on some level, but no one really knew what it was. And I never did figure out exactly what happened. What was
A
the
lot of
deal
this ties into Nick Fury and his
Secret
War.
Yeah, which I read Secret War, but even so, I was unclear.
Yeah, you read Secret War and you still kind of like, I don't understand how this turned into all that.
Nick Fury's still underground. He's
Yes.
still theoretically either dead or a criminal. So I'm not really sure what happened. But apparently, this is about him, Tony Stark, trying to clean up S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
Yes.
Okay, which is great because S.H.I.E.L.D. is awesome when it's dealt with properly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just so much of the time.
Well,
that
that's
it's
what
treated
makes-
as a Deus ex machina.
It's funny because, like Captain America, one of the reasons it's been so good since Ed Brubaker took over is that he's really made it more of a spy comic than anything else.
Yeah. Do you read Iron Man, Stephanie?
No. I mean, I had that Iron Man Extremist that Adi Granov did, but that's about it. I really didn't read too much, but after seeing the movie, I really did want to get into him. Just cause,
Yeah.
No,
I mean, besides what was in Ultimates.
To be honest,
because
you really should go pick up those Essential Iron Man
Essential
collections.
Iron Mans.
Those, like, the beginning of it, because that stuff is really interesting. The beginning of Iron Man, the first several years, is good stuff, and when you hear people saying, how in the world are they possibly going to make Mandarin work as an Iron Man villain in the next movie, which is apparently the plan.
Is that they hinted at
Iron
it
Man
in
is a
yours.
doctor, is like a Fu Manchu type of mystical character.
I got to say, of all the characters that have ever existed in the world, Mandarin is clearly the most insulting racial stereotype
Yes, he
ever.
is.
Oh, so Iron Man, you plan to fight me in my rings?
John Cho will play it because there are no available
Yeah, I'm just like,
American
with like
Asian
the idea of making the Mandarin a villain right now. I'm like, how in the hell are you going to pull that
him
off?
Totally. You'd have to change it all. But, you know, the idea that he is sort of Iron Man's kingpin. He's the
Sure.
one who's tying together all these other villains who've been coming at the Iron Man. He's the guy who's been pulling the strings behind the scenes. I mean, if you're going to do it, the way to do it is not have him happen till the end of the second film, where you discover, oh, guess what? All these other villains that are coming out of the fucking woodwork, they're all from this one dude.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to sound ignorant, but does that Jon Favreau storyline isn't he doing a comic with Adi Granov? Does that have anything to do with
Oh, yeah, he
the
is.
series?
He is. I'm glad
Or
you
the
brought that up.
films?
Yeah, I posted a blog about it, and I picked up the first issue. Yeah, Adi Granov, if you don't know the name, I'm sure you know his work because he does all the best Iron Man paintings. I mean, he's responsible for the new look of Iron Man, basically.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, him and John, there's a series out now. It's Iron Man Viva Las Vegas. It's written by Jon Favreau. Adi Granov is doing the painted art inside. And I don't know there's a direct tie into the movies, but just from the feel of it, it looks like it picks up right where the movie leaves off. It's just, it's Tony Stark on a plane on his way to Paris, stopping a terrorist, and the French all cuss him out. And he's like, fuck this town.
Yeah.
So he goes to Las Vegas. Like, what's the most anti-French place I can go?
Yeah, Las Vegas. Yeah. Or Dubai.
That's true.
All right, so what do you got next in the
All right,
bag?
what I got?
The
Maybe
big
get
brown
through
bag.
this. Okay, Justice League of America.
You're still reading Justice League of America? I thought it has been crappy for a long time, is what I had heard.
You know, Justice League is one of those comics where here's a cycle that Justice League comics go through. They start with the big guns, the guys the basic seven who are in the cartoon, and it goes for a while, and then they start going like, well, we need to have Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman leave for whatever reason, and we start bringing in other characters. And it eventually devolves to the point where Aquaman's the leader, or just something obscure like that. The sales go down, and they end up canceling the comic. Only to like a few years later, say like, "Hey, Justice League is back, and it's got the Flash and Aquaman, and Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman in it again." And it's like, dudes, stop being douches and just stop taking them out. Leave it that way.
I'm still stuck on the idea of Aquaman leading anything. It's like, you could give him a hook for a hand. You could give him Shaft's dick. You could, like, cut off his head and replace it with the lead singer of Radiohead. It doesn't really matter. He's always going to be a loser.
I see you say that, but I have like if it was up to me to write Aquaman, I have an idea that would change it complete. Not change it completely because I'd keep it the same. I appreciate the history. I revere it. I would keep all that, but I would make him so cool everybody would respect him forever.
Yeah, okay. I got to hear this because I can't imagine.
Oh yeah, if I tell it to
anything
you now and
like
somebody else writes it, they get
this.
credit.
I see how it is.
Action Comics, Superman.
There's an Action Comic still? I thought that was from like the 40s or something.
It's been around forever.
Has it been running the whole time? Has there always been just Action Comics?
This is issue 856. I mean 865. What do you think?
Yeah. And now it hasn't always been just Superman, though, right? Has it?
Ever since Superman appeared in Action Comics, it's been
a Superman title.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the reason I'm buying Action Comics at the moment is because for a while they were running a storyline that was written by Jeff Johns and Richard Donner, which featured the Phantom Zone criminals, General Zod.
No kidding.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, it went into detail about, the criminals where it showed that Non was originally...
Is that the chick?
No, he was... The wrestler.
Stupid guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the stupid guy. Where originally he was Jor-El's, like, his professor.
Yeah.
Jor-El was his protege. He was the one who showed Jor-El that, like, yeah, Krypton's going to, be destroyed. But because he spoke out, the Kryptonian Council had him lobotomized.
What a bunch of dicks.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
That is a terrible thing to do.
Oh, I know.
So are the Kryptonians now being turned into basically assholes in the context of the history
The Council
of Superman?
themselves, I mean, the Council were always assholes.
Because I thought that the whole idea was, well, yeah, because they didn't believe.
Jor-El
saying,
or Al Gore, as I like to call him, was trying to tell him, like, hey, look, the world's coming to an end. We need to do something. And they're like, yeah, okay, Jor-El, whatever. You and your electric cars and global warming and
crystal
green
computers.
Exactly.
That'll never work, you crazy man.
Right. The Kryptonian Council was basically made out of Rush Limbaugh and Bill O'Reilly.
Okay, fair enough. And so they lobotomized.
Yeah.
That's why he's dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
And can't use his heat vision properly.
Yeah, but there was a whole storyline where General Zod, where a Kryptonian kid came over and Superman's like, wow, Kryptonian kid. And he pretty much adopted him, only to find out that he was actually General Zod's kid, and he provided a way for everybody from the Phantom Zone to escape. And they just took over the Earth.
Okay. Wow.
So it was a whole thing of, like, how...
See, now I'd like to see that as the Superman Returns sequel.
It would be awesome.
Of course, the fear is, once again, he's just going to hit all the same notes from the second Superman.
Well, you know what? And the thing was, Bryan Singer, he originally planned to put General Zod in Superman Returns.
I heard that.
Yeah, he was going to get Jude Law to play General
good
Zod.
Choice. Good
yeah,
choice.
Exactly. And Jude Law just ended up going like, nah, I don't want to do it.
Oh, come on, Jude.
And then so he said, like, well, if I can't get Jude Law,
Hey.
I don't want to do it.
Jude.
I know. Don't make it bad.
Take a sad reboot franchise
And make it better.
and make it better.
If I'd been drinking, I would never let you get away with it.
I know you wouldn't know that. I took full advantage of your alcoholism.
Okay. I'm also reading the Superman, what do you call these things?
Damn, what's with all the DC here? Jesus.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I'm not a DC.
I'm a Marvel kid all the
Yeah.
way.
All the
yeah.
way?
Marvel
Really? Both of
zombie.
you guys?
Yeah.
The DC superheroes, they're the iconic ones.
I suppose.
I grew up watching a lot of,
They always hit the best
Superman,
cartoons.
Batman, but not really reading so much.
No, I agree with you. The DC animation has traditionally been better, but in every other way, Marvel has been better. The films have been better. The
No, there was a long
comics have
time when
been
they were
better.
not.
Yeah, the
Well,
Batman,
there
Superman.
wasn't any.
The first ones were
there
so
wasn't
good.
any Marvel films to speak of.
Well, there was Punisher, and there was a
come
Spider-Man TV show.
Actually, I liked the Spider-Man TV show.
No,
when I
you
was-
didn't.
When I was 10.
Oh, anyway,
Before my time.
All-Star Superman. I got that. I don't know.
What is that? That's the Grant Morrison that everybody's talking about, though. Everybody's saying how great the new Grant Morrison Superman is.
Yes.
All-Star Superman or
Yes.
something? Okay. Yeah. I can't believe any artist worth his salt would want to work with him, because every Grant Morrison panel was filled with dialogue.
It's funny because this is a perfect segue into Batman. This whole Batman R.I.P.
Oh,
story.
yeah, because they're supposedly killing off Bruce Wayne.
Right. And this is the second issue from the Grant Morrison Batman R.I.P.
Grant Morrison.
Rest in peace.
I love Grant Morrison when he was writing Doom Patrol, but now I'm very unhappy.
Here's the thing. He's been writing Batman, and it's actually been pretty good.
Yeah.
Up until this whole Rest in Peace thing started. Because I got the last one. I had to read it 3 times to figure out what the hell was going on. Grant Morrison, I've always said this, he's great at coming up with the high concepts, like when he was writing New X-Men. Great with coming up with the high concepts, but not so good on the day-to-day on how to make it flow in a logical way. It's
Yeah.
like in his head, he's already worked it out, but he writes it in a way where like somebody picking up, reading it goes like, wait, you just skipped from point A to point G.
Yeah.
Without any explanation in between.
2 panels.
Yeah, in 2 panels.
Yeah. No, I agree. When I read the stuff he did with Justice League of America, I was like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
What the hell happened here?
Yeah.
This is so confusing. It's like reading a Wikipedia entry as a comic book.
Wow, that's good. But yeah. Now we move on to New Avengers and the whole Skrull invasion.
Yeah, now with that I am actually interested in. I'm following Secret Invasion. I haven't read 3 yet. I got it. Haven't read it yet.
Yeah, see, I had that in this bag also.
Yeah, I really, so far, like what they did with Secret, they're doing with it. But then again, with Civil War, I like the first several issues of that as well.
Yeah, Civil War is really tainting the Skrull thing because the Skrull invasion is actually a better idea
Yes, it is.
But after the way they dropped the ball on Civil War,
the way it ended, ugh.
I mean, that was one of those things where it's like, wow, this is really something huge. I mean, how are they going to write themselves out of this?
You shouldn't deal with concepts that big and that really about bigger things without knowing beforehand how
Without
you're going to
having
end
a
it.
good exit strategy before you start.
Exactly.
Did you read Civil War at all, Steph?
I am starting it, but I am not near the end at all.
Because
It's a great beginning.
It starts off really good.
But then
and
it's
there's
going to
things,
fall flat.
yeah, there's things that happen. You're like, oh my God, this is huge.
Yeah.
How do they come back from this? And yeah, only to realize like, oh, they didn't know.
Yeah, they're making it up as they went along.
Oh.
But that's Mark Millar for you.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's one of those. All right, I got our favorite comic here, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Hell yeah, best comic book being written today.
Have to bring this up every week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the best comic. And if you're somebody who's been listening to us and you start watching Spectacular Spider-Man, this is just about the comic book version of that.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, it's not exactly the same.
Not
by any
exactly,
stretch of the
but
imagination.
it's the closest you
It's
can get.
if there is one, if you like only have the money to buy one comic book and you like superheroes, you should be buying Ultimate Spider-Man.
The Invincible Iron Man. Now, this also sort of picks up from the movie. This came at the same time. This and Viva Las Vegas. Except this is Iron Man fighting the son of Obadiah Stane from the
I thought
movie.
you were saying the Sun. It's like, great. So it's being written by Mr. Burns. Remember?
Right.
Ever since the beginning of time, man has dreamed of destroying the sun.
This is the second issue. It was
Yeah.
enough for me to pick up the second one.
Okay.
Give it a shot.
We still got more in the bag, and the
Jeez.
bag goes ever on.
Okay, Ultimate Origins.
I haven't heard about this. What's the
Oh,
deal with
it's
that?
something new from the Ultimate universe.
And which I am extremely fond of. In fact, I've almost, now that they've totally screwed the pooch on Amazing Spider-Man, and they have, don't buy it. I really have lost interest with almost the entire regular Marvel universe. But the Ultimate universe continues to fascinate me.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, in this Ultimate universe, they're starting to tell the origins of these characters. And as you can see, Wolverine's on the cover, and this
Yes.
book is written by our favorite guy, Brian Michael Bendis.
Love him.
That's all you got to hear, right?
I'll
Yeah.
read anything he writes.
What's your favorite Brian Michael Bendis, Stephanie?
I actually just read his Daredevil run, and
Oh.
I never liked Daredevil, but I read
that's
that,
the
and I
one,
was
yeah.
like, "Oh my god, this is so good!" So
He really, I think, aren't you the one who bought me that Daredevil?
Yeah.
Brian Michael Bendis graphic novel?
Yeah, I know I had to turn you on to it.
I was like, oh my god. And it's not, who's the artist on those?
Alex Believe,
yeah.
Who is
he's amazing.
amazing. It's just like, as
I love
much
it.
as I was affected when I was younger by the Frank Miller Daredevil, I might actually like this better.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's definitely a perfect combination, I think. But my friend actually, he thinks Alex Believe is too gritty. I don't know. I'm just
Too
kind of like, I really like that kind of style, like that Bill Sienkiewicz kind of,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
really dark.
Well, it really works for Daredevil.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Perfect pick.
This other book I just started picking up called The 12.
Huh.
It's by Straczynski.
Oh, see, that's good. I like J. Michael Straczynski. He's one of the
this is
only
issue
thi-
3.
That's
Oh.
right.
I
He's
haven't
one of
read
the
issue
only
2.
things I like about the whole last couple years of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Is that he did have some really good stuff he did. He did some really stupid shit, too, like finding out Gwen Stacy was having sex with Norman Osborn. What
I
the
know, I
hell was that?
I know. He was trying something different. Hey, look, I give him credit for the fact that when it didn't work, he immediately abandoned it. So the 12 is about all these characters from World War II who go and storm this Nazi base but get captured and frozen in time. They're in suspended animation, and they wake up now. And, you talk about Captain America. It's all these guys. But they weren't, like, on the level of Captain America. Half of them were just, like, dink heroes.
Right.
So it's all them being, like, controlled by the government. The government's like, hey, they're still on the clock.
They come out after all that time. They come out and they're like, "Hello, you're supposed to be at work at 9 a.m."
And it is the government saying, like, with all this mess going on with Civil War, where you got some heroes trying to rebel and don't want to do what we say, we got 12 heroes here, and that's all they know is doing what the government says. So we're going to work them.
That sounds up my alley.
Speaking of Daredevil, got the new issue of this.
Now, who's writing it now?
Ed Brubaker, who I talked about doing Captain America, has been writing it.
I like Ed Brubaker.
I do too. And I thought Ed Brubaker did a great job of picking up where Bendis left off to finish off the storyline of Daredevil being incarcerated.
Yeah, I just started reading his run on that recently, and I'm like, okay, it's not as good as Bendis.
It's not as good as
but
Bendis.
It's still very
And
satisfying.
Brubaker has a real problem with taking too long to wrap a story up.
He really likes girl that Daredevil was in love with but died. What's her name?
Oh, Karen Page?
Yeah, he likes Karen Page a lot.
Well, all of them. I mean, your boy Kevin Smith was the one who killed her off.
Yeah, no, I know. And it wasn't my boy. It's Carlisle's boy.
That's right,
Okay.
Carlisle's boy.
Okay, I was going to say, don't put that on me.
And it's like he just wanted, I'm going to write this comic for a short while, and I want to make my mark, and then leave. It's like, oh, great. Thanks for taking...
What a dick move.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for leaving a shit stain on this. So I'm still buying Daredevil because once he wrapped up that storyline, the ones he's been doing since then haven't been as good. I just keep hoping. Come on, Ed. You're going to do it. This is going to be that one.
Right. Not so far yet.
Not so far, but hey, I haven't read this one. This could be that one.
That could be the one that everyone talks about. And then it turns out it's worth like $500 tomorrow. Yeah,
Now,
that'll happen with the
the
comic.
Joss Whedon X-Men, Astonishing X-Men.
Hell yeah, which I admit, I'm only buying the graphic novels as they
Okay.
come out. I'm not
Well, this
buying
is
them
the
by
final
issue.
wrap-up to the story.
Oh, is this going to be the last Joss Whedon one?
I believe. Well, it is for this storyline because,
okay.
Hey, I love what Joss Whedon's doing on this.
Yeah.
But he does only release like 2 issues a year. It's
He's
like,
a
dude,
busy man.
Step it up.
Yeah.
Well, hey, busy I understand, but look, either commit or don't.
Yeah.
Remember Kevin Smith? He was supposed to write a Spider-Man miniseries, and he wrote 1, maybe 2 issues, or maybe
Yeah.
it was just 1 issue, and then never touched it again for 4 years.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. It's the Mark Millar syndrome.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Look, either do it or don't do it.
Yeah, Millar doesn't even have the excuse of writing screenplays and stuff like that. He's just, what
Right.
are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. So this is supposed to be the big wrap up.
Okay.
Which I just say hey, I'm glad it's here, but goddamn, finally.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
the last
this
one
is the
would
big
be
ender.
the third issue of Secret Invasion.
Yeah, which I am very much looking forward to reading. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm just, I'm kind of on tenterhooks waiting for that moment when it jumps the shark, just like Civil War did. But
Right. And with the second issue, it got revealed that Spider-Woman, who Nick Fury has been trusting this whole time,
Yes,
is a
and
Skrull.
and we
Matter of
know-
fact, she's the Queen Skrull, right?
Oh, well, I don't know about that. Is she?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes a lot of sense based on some of the stuff I've been reading that was taking place right before Civil War lately.
Yeah.
Okay. Because she's kind of a bitch.
Yes, ever so often she is.
So how many agents? There's a limit.
Well,
on
that is the
agents
thing where
before
even
you're
Nick
just-
Fury is like, okay, are you a double agent or a triple agent?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
You're just like an agent slut, pretty much. You're working for everybody. It's like any secret agent say, "Hey, we'd like to introduce ourselves. We're the Mormons. Great, can I work with you? I won't tell anyone." But Stephanie, I know you must have something that you want to promote, something that right now you're so crazy in love with, besides Cyrus, that you just want to grab and hug to you and slowly massage into a state of relaxation, and talk about how great it is. What is that thing?
I guess on the topic of comics, I noticed you didn't have Kick-Ass, which is the new Mark Millar.
Only because I couldn't find the first issue.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
Is it?
I'm actually really enjoying it. It's probably the one issue book that I'm reading right now.
I read the first one and I really liked it.
Yeah, I think 3 just came out, but it's
Yeah,
like,
it did.
Kind of, have you heard the stories of like these MySpace kids who are like, we're real superheroes, or like we read comic books and we want to be superheroes. It's like that kind of story where he's just like an average Joe kind of, high school
There are no
kid
actual
who-
superheroes in it.
Okay, because
It's like-
I saw the second issue in the store, kind of pretty much flipped through it. It's like he just gets the shit beat out of him for the whole issue.
It's like
I mean, like even Jesus Christ didn't get beat that bad.
Well, he did in Mel Gibson's.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he'd be laying there bloody and looking over at Kick-Ass going like, damn, dude, that's rough.
You posted a blog about James McAvoy maybe being Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah? Oh, yeah,
That's got me really excited.
I
'cause-
really like James McAvoy.
Yes, I love him, and I was really worried, but now Guillermo del Toro and James McAvoy possibly.
He's one of the only actors I can honestly think of that made me go, you know what, that could probably work right off the bat without
Sure.
a moment hesitation.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently the whole internet pretty much agrees. It's like every website that's covered the story went and said, yeah, we fully support that. Okay, so I hope those guys are listening. The spill seal of approval. And Stephanie.
Hey Cyrus and Leon, this is Chongo. From that website, spill.com. And I'm here to inform you that as of next year, it is a requirement to read 2 graphic novels to graduate. One graphic novel is the school's choice, which I believe is going to be Mouse. And the other one is for you to choose. And what I love about this is that the school is actually appreciating that graphic novels or comics as a whole are an art form and they need to be studied in our schools instead of being tucked under the rug and saying that it's garbage. And I was wondering what graphic novel you guys would choose if you guys were still in school.
Well, Chongo, that's not an easy question to
I love
answer.
that name, Chongo. I was thinking of the Banana Splits. Uh-oh, Chongo.
La, 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 la. So it's a college class or a college thingy. All of us at Spill are entirely unexperienced with that. So
Wait, college or just higher education in general?
higher education in general.
Well, hey, don't sell Stephanie short.
That's
she went
true.
to college.
You went to college, didn't you?
I did.
We're so proud of you. You're a bigger nerd than us,
Yeah.
but a hotter nerd than us. So that's got to count for something. But I mean, that's great. College is coming around to our way of thinking. Mouse, a fantastic graphic novel. That would be the first thing I would have thought of. Yes, absolutely. Mouse and Mouse 2, which are essentially just the same.
Pretty much the
Same
same
thing,
book.
Split
yeah.
up for money by the publisher.
Yeah.
But what's the other one? What would you choose for that second graphic
Well,
novel?
gosh, I'd probably go with The Watchmen. Just being, such an intellectual book that deals so much with history and politics
Sure.
and perfect for college students because it's all about, well, I don't know. I just think it's the kind of book where, like, if you're going to ever introduce superheroes, it would be the one to do it with.
Yeah, no, and you're right. That's the book to introduce superheroes. But I picture this crowded stuff with old people smoking cigars, looking at this curriculum, going,
You're still thinking of John Houseman from The Paper Chase.
No, I'm picturing what happens whenever they elect a new president. Like Bill Hicks said, they bring him into the little smoky room and they show him the Kennedy assassination just from an angle you've never seen before. And then they say, "Any questions?" Just what my policies are going to be. No, you know what I'm saying. Though it's got to be a curmudgeonly situation there. So I say don't start off as superheroes, or at least not, obviously, overtly superheroes.
Okay.
I say V for Vendetta would be
Oh.
a good way to start.
Ooh, good choice.
I mean, you've seen the movie, maybe you liked it, maybe you didn't, but you have to take my word for it. It's one of the finest examples of graphic novels ever written.
Very true.
Yeah, I mean, Alan Moore's a genius, and you don't have to look much further than that to figure that out.
Okay, so we're all on this Alan Moore tip, pretty
Well,
much.
he's one of the greatest writers in the history of comic books. And sure enough, just, absolutely, he's completely mad, sir.
Well, that's true. Like, if I wasn't going to go Watchmen, I would say V for Vendetta. That's probably a better choice.
I just think for the start. Now, you would get to Watchmen eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but V for Vendetta might be a better starting point. And, if not there, maybe like Love and Rockets by Gilbert and Hernandez.
Yeah, Gilbert and Jaime Hernandez.
I guess if I were sticking to non-superhero stuff, I would say maybe Blankets by Craig Thompson.
Oh.
I haven't
Or-
read that.
See, I haven't
That's
read a lot of
actually-
it, but the little bit I have, it's pretty good.
Tell
Or,
me about that, actually.
It's just one of those slice of life, kind of like it's his like childhood kind of story, and he grows up kind of in a very conservative Christian family, and then just his kind of coming of age and as he goes, Bible camp, I think it's where he goes. But it's a really nice book, and then there's also Ghost World by Daniel Clowes.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
also-
Also,
I mean,
a movie made from it.
In fact, that made me think of American Splendor as well. Another one.
which
a movie
I
was made
actually
from,
haven't
but-
seen or read. So
Oh, it's
that
excellent.
one.
It is.
Yeah.
Both parts of it. Great soundtrack to the movie too.
Well, that's true.
But yeah, and also I don't know. This is for me. I had to read Mouse in school, but I was also really influenced by Kabuki Metamorphosis, which was done by David Mack.
Yeah.
And his art. Well, I guess I went to an art school, so I was very influenced by. He
you-
just has amazing water.
Did you know David Mack did Daredevil for a while?
Yeah, so that's
Yes,
where I knew the name
with
from. Okay,
Quesada.
I was like,
He's very artsy.
Yeah, and it's like the text is included in the art.
There's also Yummy Fur by
Oh,
Chester
yeah.
Brown.
Yeah, great.
And what was the other guy who was in that group? And I liked his comic. Well, let's see. There was Seth. Oh, Joe Mack. Joe Mack and Peep Show is the name of his book. That's right, Optic Nerve by
Nerve,
Adrian
yeah.
Tomine.
Oh, yeah.
And the only reason I didn't mention it was because I never read that comic.
And Evan Dorkin's Milk and Cheese.
Oh, love Milk and Cheese. Milk and Cheese is awesome.
Milk and Cheese was awesome.
And, oh, God, well, if we get on this whole independent comics trip, my favorite guy was Peter Bagg.
Oh,
with,
yeah.
With Hate.
And the Bradleys.
Yeah, I love the Bradleys.
Yeah. Have you seen that weird thing he's doing now where he's doing historical comics?
Really?
Yeah, he's doing like a History of America thing right now.
Oh, no, I haven't seen it at all.
It's really strange where they're all like just like the Bradleys. Really, they're all a bunch of kind of jerks. It's like the founding fathers are all just kind of bitching at each other.
Oh,
all the
wow.
time.
Oh, I got to check that out.
It's really strange. No, I was to say, I don't know if you ever read Reed Fleming, World's Toughest
Dude, I
Milkman.
love Reed. You know what? I was just thinking about Reed Fleming the other day, and I was like, man, I don't hang around with any of the guys who used to read Reed Fleming with me.
Fleming was awesome.
It was. And you know, they almost made a movie with Jim Belushi as
I
Reed
know.
Fleming.
I heard that. I just read that recently. I was skipping around on IMDb, and I saw like a trivia thing about that.
It was big talk for a while, and I'm so glad they never did that.
Well, only because Jim Belushi.
Yeah, that's the reason.
I mean, if they had the right guy for that. I mean, if they had done it with Sam Kinison when he was alive.
It's still, it's a hard thing to pull off.
Yeah.
To get the right vibe for it.
Yeah. Does that answer your question, Chongo?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to fail anyway, Chongo, but just, take some fun
Not
stuff to
nice.
read. Why not?
Just the
Mouse
fact-
is really good.
Mouse is good. Yeah,
Mouse is excellent. Persepolis, another graphic novel that's been turned into a fantastic movie.
There you go.
So we've given you tons of choices.
Yeah. If you fail now, it's no one's fault but yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For taking a comic book class.
Bill takes no responsibility. All right. Anyway, thank you so much, you guys, for listening to yet another Leog. It's been a lot of fun. Stephanie, thank you so much.
Really,
Oh, no,
Stephanie,
thank you
you.
for having me.
You
were
saved
awesome.
us on this one, too. You came out of the woodwork to come help us out, and you've been great.
I love the idea of I like when we get professionals here, but I also like the idea of just getting, our members and fans in.
Yeah,
Just
no, I agree.
Just kind of take a pulse of who we have out there on the site.
And you did great. So this worked out terrific. We will be back in another 2 weeks. Once again, please, the audio contest. If you want to win the Love Guru sculpture or Magic 8 Ball, I guarantee you, well, I'll be very pleased to get rid of it. But thanks again. And if that's it from anything else?
Just want to say, hey, good night, and keep those requests and letters coming.
Okay, thanks, folks.